Good morning, good afternoon, and hello everyone joining us on YouTube today. Thank you for joining us for the third annual Douglass Week. My name is Dr. Caroline Dunn-Schroeder, and I'm the founder of Douglass Week. And I'm here with my colleague and co-founder of the event series, Kristen Leary. Hello, Kristen. And our guest speaker, Aisling Keavey. Hello, Aisling. We are delighted to welcome you to the third annual Douglass Week, which offers a wide-ranging celebration of the great abolitionist and civil rights icon Frederick Douglass, as well as other historical and present-day change makers. And this year, we're thrilled to be in Rochester, New York, where Douglass and his family lived for 25 years.
And each year, Douglass Week commemorates Frederick Douglass and other change makers around the world. And we're very grateful for our growing community of participants, presenters, and attendees who share, collaborate, and co-create and provide personal and contemporary context through many different mediums.
Yeah, we love to think and learn and teach, and this event is one of those because we will learn more about Frederick Douglass's time in Ireland during the famine. And being in Ireland, seeing Daniel O'Connell speak, for example, as well as Douglass's experience with the Irish was, as we know, transformative to him. And we're very excited to learn a little bit more about this and Douglass's time in Ireland from Aisling today.
And just a little more about Aisling. She's a photographic artist, moving image maker, curator, and writer from Dublin. She's a graduate of Dún Laoghaire Institute of Art, Design, and Technology and is currently based in London. And her work focuses on the migration of women from Ireland to the UK, using ethnographic interviews, photography, and moving image to connect histories of migration with the contemporary.
Yeah, and if you want to see more of Aisling's work, there's an upcoming exhibition, I hear, at the Art Book Fair at the Printworks in Dublin Castle this year. So go check that out. And we hope that you enjoy this Douglass Week event as well as many others. We encourage you to tune in this week for more than 35 events, and we have planned plenty of online, hybrid, and in-person events, so go check that out. Visit our website and follow us on social media because we'll be sharing plenty over there. And now it's time to hand over to Aisling. Thank you for joining us today, Aisling, and the stage is yours.
Hi, today I'm speaking about Frederick Douglass's time in Ireland. Frederick Douglass was born into slavery as Frederick Augustus Washington Bailey in Tuckahoe near Talbot County, Maryland. He states in his autobiography, Narrative of the Life of Frederick Douglass, that he does not know his birthday, having never seen any authentic record containing it. He says that it is the wish of most slave masters to keep from their slaves this knowledge, and thus ignorant. The Irish are often introduced in his writing during crucial moments where he sought his own freedom, as well as an end to slavery throughout the United States. When the Irish first appear in narrative, they are instrumental in prompting some of his earliest desires to escape slavery. While working at the Durgan and Bailey shipyard in Baltimore for his master Hugh Auld, Douglass describes how he noticed two Irishmen unloading a scow of stone one day and offered to help them. While they worked, one of the men asked, "Are you a slave for life?" When Douglass replied that he was, the good Irishman seemed deeply affected by this statement and said, "It was a shame to hold me." Both advised him to run north and said he would fight there and be free. He pretends to not understand what the men are saying because he is aware of white men advising slaves to run away and then catching them and returning them to their masters for a reward. He is afraid that these men would do the same, but still remembers the advice that they gave him and resolves to run away. Another experience that happens almost simultaneously as meeting the two Irishmen, Douglass reads fellow Irishman Arthur O'Connor's speech in the Columbian Orator to the Irish House of Commons about Catholic emancipation. He remarks that he reads the speech with unabated interest. Douglass was impressed by O'Connor's sentiments and his declaration that he would risk everything dear to him on earth for Ireland's independence. Douglass wrote that O'Connor provided him with a powerful vocabulary to voice beliefs within his own soul, which boldly vindicated human rights and enabled Douglass to utter thoughts and to meet the arguments brought forward to sustain slavery. After Douglass publishes The Narrative of the Life of Frederick Douglass, it is immensely popular, and it is decided that he would go on an abolitionist speaking tour throughout Ireland. Being in Ireland, seeing Daniel O'Connell speak and his experiences with the indigenous people of the country gave Douglass a renewed appreciation for his sense of the valuable contribution that words can make to a larger political transformation. He recalls how the transatlantic publication of Daniel O'Connell's anti-slavery speeches made American slavery shake to its centre. While in Dublin, he says that instead of the bright blue sky of America, I am covered with the soft grey fog of the Emerald Isle, and that I breathe, and lo, the chattel becomes a man. He also remarked that one of the most pleasing features of his visit to Ireland was that there was a total absence of all manifestations of prejudices against me on account of my colour. The people of Ireland, he said, measure and esteem men according to their moral and intellectual worth, and not according to the colour of their skin. While recounting his experiences as he travelled from Cape Clear in Munster to the Giant's Causeway in Ulster, Douglass said he had spent some of the happiest moments of his life. I seem to have undergone a transformation, he explained. I have a new life. He says in a letter to fellow abolitionist William Lord Garrison that in Ireland he was not treated as a colour, but as a man, not as a thing, but as a child of the common father of us all. He arrived in Dublin in the autumn of 1845 with the resolve to print more editions of his narrative and also organise a series of anti-slavery lectures across Ireland. All 2,000 copies of narrative had sold out by the end of 1845. Douglass stayed with various members of anti-slavery groups in Dublin, Cork and Limerick during his almost 6 months in Ireland. He found supporters who were more than happy to encourage him on his mission in constructive ways. The Great Famine was beginning as Douglass toured Ireland, but he had little to say about it. Douglass had admitted that his primary mission in Ireland was to increase support to the anti-slavery cause. Douglass's tour continued to Britain after all 2,000 copies of narrative had sold. The most important experience of his 18 months in the British Isles was the purchase of his freedom by his British friends Ellen and Anna Richardson. They had written to Douglass's former master, Hugh Auld, demanding a price for his freedom. Auld agreed on £150, which they raised and sent to Auld. Therefore, when Douglass returned to America, he would be a free man. There were many people in Britain and Ireland that protested at Douglass being made a free man, which he responded to by saying, I am legally the property of Thomas Auld, and if I go to the United States, Thomas Auld, aided by the American government, can seize, bind, and fetter and drag me from my family, be it his cruel revenge upon me, and doom me to unending slavery. It was not to compensate the slaveholder, but to release me from his power, not to establish my natural right to freedom, but to release me from all legal liabilities to slavery. When he returned to the US, fueled by the independence and support he had received abroad, Douglass decided to set up his own newspaper, the North Star. His British friends raised money for this enterprise, which he acknowledged on numerous occasions. Thank you very much for coming to my talk, and I hope you enjoy Douglass Week, the rest of the events for Douglass Week. And here are some references on Frederick Douglass if you want to read more. Thank you.